Boy George, I'm back. I finally found your YouTube comment on my phone. So let me read this. Comment that you left real quick. I look forward to seeing this one, bro. I'm literally one day from quitting my job. My employer is on some BS, not letting me take time off or approving my time off requests when I have important appointments, etc. So a hustle is mandatory for me. That, in reference to that, number one, you need a side hustle. I definitely recommend blogging. Like I always preach in my videos, you have to get your own domain name. You have to get your own hosting. Check out the link in the YouTube video description to get started. It's likely less than $100 to get started online with your own hosting, small business web hosting, your domain name, and just everything for the year should be about around $100, maybe a little less or a little bit more. But you have to get started. And once you get started blogging, what you can do is start talking about how your employer, but the one thing is this: do not drop your employer's name, and don't drop the company you work for. Number three, don't put your picture on the blog. Do not put your name on the blog either. That's number four. Talk about how your employer is not approving your time off requests. Talk about it, because how many more people are going through the same thing as you? That's number one. Number two, you need to go talk to an employment lawyer, because if you've been on that job for a while, especially 2-3 years or even a whole year, you should have some time saved up. And I would first be cool, be neutral with your attitude, go to HR and ask them, how much time do you have, you know, for, let's say, for example, if you want to take paid time off. I know that if you've been on a job for 6 months, you're not going to be able to take paid time off. I mean, but I don't know what your situation is. But if it comes, you know, down to the wire, I would go talk to an employment lawyer, because it sounds like the employer is trying to allegedly rob you. And if your current boss is getting real nasty with you, it sounds like they might be setting you up potentially for wrongful termination. That's a red flag right now. You definitely need to go talk to an employment lawyer about that and see what the deal is, because if you feel robbed, then you might have to file a little lawsuit, take your employer to court, you know. And at that time, if you threaten your employer with legal action, you best assured you're going to get fired. They're just going to fire you. But the best case is this: you're able to sue them, and then you're able to collect unemployment if you've been on a job for 6 months. But definitely, I would start blogging and write about how an employer don't tell the company name, don't put your name in the blog, don't do that, because then that goes into legality of things. You don't want that. But you can talk about it. If you decide to get started with a paid hosting plan, getting your own domain name and start blogging, make sure your blogs are in excess of 1,500 words or more. If you can manage to write 1,500 words in a blog post 3 days a week for 6 months, you will be able to generate some ad revenue. Google AdSense, get a pen and paper and write this down, or either punch this into your search engine. Google AdSense. It's the easiest money. There's no selling involved, but you have to continually blog, because after you file your AdSense publisher application, Google's going to come by and take a look at your blog. So in the meantime, while you're waiting for your AdSense publisher approval, keep blogging, because now you're setting yourself up to start earning side hustle income. After your AdSense publisher application is approved, you take a tiny snippet of code, you put it into the template backend section of your WordPress blog, and ta-da, ads show up. And then you can keep focusing on content. In the meantime, if you're able to multitask, you can do this: get a part-time second job for the moment, blog, and then continually go through the BS with your employer. But I do recommend go talk to an employment lawyer. All right. Hopefully this helps you out. Drop a comment, George, in the comment section and let me know what you think. Okay. All right. Peace. Have a good weekend.